Happy 4th of July, everyone. I wish I had better news for you today. This is a little bit bad here. We're going to look at Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, as well as the production update for Mara and Riot. And before we get going today, hit that subscribe button. What are you waiting for? We're so close to 1,000 subscribers. What a milestone. Help us get there. Now let's get into it. Now, first of all, Bitcoin. Bitcoin is in a bad spot right now. It's currently trading at 58,138. It went as low as $56,000 yesterday or last night. Now, we are below the 200-day moving average, which is currently at 58,486. That is bad. Being below that is not good. Now, it does look like we are trying real hard to get back above it. We're getting pretty close to it. That's good. That's a good sign. If we can close above the 200-day moving average, this really is not a sky is falling sort of situation. It's going to look more like a reversal. Now, that is not what's happened yet, but it is looking like it could be on track. So, not all is lost yet, but I want you to be prepared, not scared, when the next step happens. Now, if we close beneath the 200-day moving average on Bitcoin and we open up tomorrow's candle also below the 200-day moving average, that's going to be bad. We're going to have a bad time. It's going to very quickly flush down into the between like $53,000 and $50,000 very, very fast if that happens. Now, I don't want you to panic when that happens because we do have a little bit of a ledge of support down there. Let me get my drawings out here, right here. This guy right here might be our savior in that situation. If not, then we're coming all the way down into the $40,000 range, like in the 40s, if this ledge cannot hold. Now, I do think that once we get down there, I think that buyers are going to say, wow, what a deal, and bring us roaring back into the 60s and maybe even all the way back up to 70. This would also coincide with the bottom of this descending channel that I've got drawn on here that's been on here since March. That 50, like the low $50,000 level coincides perfectly with this technical descending trend line, descending channel that I've got on the Bitcoin chart. That is great. So even if we come down there, I think we're going to come back hard, just like before, right? We went from the top of the channel all the way to the bottom of the channel, back to the middle, back to the bottom, and then all the way back roaring to the top and above before we came back to the middle. And then we went back to the top, right? Does seem like a theme? And then we came back down. We're at the middle right now, and it's kind of deciding, like, do I want to go back up from the middle or do I want to visit the bottom again? Just like we did back here, right? We went from the bottom here back in March of the channel. We went up to the top, came back to the middle, and then went back to the top before coming all the way back down to the bottom again. And then visiting the middle of the channel again before coming to the bottom of the channel again. Like, it likes to do this. So currently we're hanging out in the middle of the channel, the upper half of the descending channel. Price is trying to decide if it would like to revisit the top or the bottom of this channel. Either way, it's going to be dramatic when it does it. So we are watching very, very carefully for that 200-day moving average right now. If we can close above that, that's good. We may very well revisit the top channel. If it closes beneath it and then opens another candle below it, then we are looking at revisiting the bottom of the channel down here in the low $50,000 range. And again, I said, I don't think it'll stay there very long, but it may very likely go there quickly, and it could be pretty scary for a lot of people. So tomorrow may be a day to close the charts and close your portfolios and perhaps not take a look at them because it's going to hurt to watch how bad it could potentially be. And of course, none of this is financial advice or a suggestion to buy, sell, or hold any asset whatsoever, simply for informational and entertainment purposes only. Anyways, one ray of hope that I see on this chart right now lies in the RSI. You can see this RSI down here was heavily oversold on the daily, and we have a lower price but a higher RSI. That is called RSI divergence. We have RSI divergence. Now, your RSI might look different from mine. I do have mine set up to be a little bit faster. I have my length set to 7. Most of the time it's set to 14. I have it set that way because I like to do quick trades, and the 7 gives me it moves a little quicker for me to see some more of these dramatic moves. Anyways, so we've got price is lower, right? Price is lower, RSI is higher. What that means is that when this line here breaks, right? When this also looks like a falling wedge, but when this trend line above these falling candles breaks, and it breaks above that, that means that it is going to dramatically move up quickly. probably to the $66,000 level, like in a blink of an eye, maybe even all the way back up to 70. This could be what brings us to the 70 and above potentially. That is what that RSI divergence down here is potentially predicting. Now, it's not always right, but it does tend to have a leaning that if price does start to reverse, that it's going to do it in a dramatic way. It's going to be fast. It's going to be hard. So that is what's going on with Bitcoin today. We are in a precarious spot. If we close down here, we're going to have a bad time. But there is RSI and RSI divergence present on the daily chart, which could bring us back up pretty quick. All right, that's it for Bitcoin. Let's take a look at Ethereum. Ethereum is also doing something very interesting right now. Ethereum has touched the 200-day moving average. Remember back here on this day when we had this big old candle on Ethereum, this 19+% day when the ETFs were announced? And I said that it very likely would be giving back that candle just like Bitcoin did when it started trading its ETF. Well, we've done that now. We've given back almost all of that candle. We came back and visited the 200-day moving average right at 3,100. We stopped pretty much right at 3,100, just like I said back then in May. Now I think Ethereum is likely to start moving back up again. This is the area where I think Ethereum starts to move back up again. And I think that it is going to probably do it in a dramatic fashion because the ETFs are going to probably open in the next 2 weeks. When those open, this sell-off has already happened. The sell-off has already happened, meaning that when they actually start trading, it's going to be just buying action coming out of Ethereum. So watch that close. Ethereum and Ethereum related securities, they're very likely, or Ethereum related assets, excuse me, are likely to do very well very soon. So that's going to be interesting. Let's take a look at Solana. Solana was also pretty interesting right now. So we are below the 200-day moving average on Solana, just like Bitcoin. We are looking at an area here where if we close beneath it, we could revisit that 2152 level. If we get below 2152, we're going back to $100 on Solana. If $100 does not hold, like between $98 and $100, if it cannot stay above $98, basically, that's the line in the sand, then we are likely to go back down into the high 70s, maybe even high 60s in that range. Now, if that happens, personally, and of course, again, not a suggestion to buy, sell, or hold any asset whatsoever, not financial advice. I'm going to buy a big old bag of Solana if it gets back down, into the 60s, 70s. That's just too good a price for me to ignore. I'm gonna do it. Anyways, there is some promising candle today for the daily candle. We got a nice long wick on the bottom that looks like it wants to retreat back above the 200-day moving average. If it does that, just like with Bitcoin, we could see it move up quickly. Now there is no RSI divergence or anything. No, price is higher, RSI is higher. Yeah, that all looks good. This could be a stair-stepping moment for Solana to just continue to, stair-step its way up again. We're not certain, but if it gets below, what I do know is if it gets below that 2185 level down there, if it goes beneath that and closes beneath that, that it is there is more pain to come on Solana. If it does not, then that will continue to hold as the floor. We may revisit it. We might not, actually, with the way the candle is printing today. We may or may not revisit it. If we do not, cool. I don't care. I have a decent bag of Solana. If we do and we break it, I will be looking for that 100. I'll be watching that $100 level close because it's got all of this support right here, all of this support in there between 118. Like once it gets below that, right, it comes quickly down to like below 100s, and then like it's got like yeah, 98. Right here's where that bottom is right there. 98, and then anything below 98, I think we start getting capitulation all the way down into the mid 70s, which is where this support is. And if that can't hold, 60, which I don't think it'll do that. I think we're very likely to get caught up between, like 115 and $98 if we lose 121 on Solana. So Solana's not looking bad. It's kind of just trucking along. It's doing its thing. It's been falling for a while. It'll turn around and come back up like a rocket. If not, it'll come down hard for a very short period of time where I'm definitely going to be filling my bags hand over fist down. Like if it gets down here to like $77, yeah, I'm just going to start buying big old bags of Solana because I am convinced that it is going to retake this all-time high and beyond here this year going into next year for Solana. So that's what's going on with Solana. Now let's move on to the production updates. Mara has released its June production update. They mined 590 Bitcoin. That is down 40% from June 2023, where they mined 979 Bitcoin. But we knew that because of the halving, so that's normal. That it's better than losing that 50%. They're only 40% down from the year before, so that's good. From May, they're actually down 4% from May, where May they mined 616 Bitcoin, whereas in June they mined 590 Bitcoin, even though they had more exahash online. They had way more operational, not way more. They had a little bit more operational hash in June compared to May, but I guess the difficulty for mining Bitcoin must have been greater in June compared to May. They are currently at 31.5 exahash for Mara. That is great. They're doing good. They beat 30. Now they're not hashing with that much, which is a little bit frustrating. Not nearly as frustrating as what's going on with Riot in their hash rate, but they're moving in the right direction. They're growing every month. They beat 30 in total energized. They're actually hashing with 26, so they're moving in the right direction. I'm not too upset about that. It's not great, but it is okay. All right. Anyways, I think Mara has not benefited from any of this news yet. You can look in their chart. Yesterday they were down over 5%, even though they had a mining report that actually was bad. They also announced that, well, one, they didn't sell any Bitcoin, so their treasury is now at 18,536 Bitcoin. That is up from a year ago. A year ago, they only had 12,538 Bitcoin. They are now almost up to 20,000 Bitcoin, and they are going to get there likely in about 3 months from now. So 90 days from now, they're going to be looking at 20,000 Bitcoin. That's a pretty sweet bag of Bitcoin for them. They didn't sell any Bitcoin last month. That is great. I love that. The other thing that came out for Marathon is that they are now mining Caspa. Let me look at this announcement now. They were mining Caspa now. It is a top 25 coin. I think they're worth like, I don't know, a couple of cents or something each. But anyways, this is the part that's interesting to me. So they have allocated 60 petahash, which is pretty small, to their Caspa mining operation. But they are seeing, in certain cases, up to 95% margins. They're not getting that margin on Bitcoin. Okay, so that's great. That's cool. I like that. All right. Now they have mined 93 million Caspa in June with a value of approximately $15 million. They're getting $15 million off of 60 petahash deployed for Caspa. That's not bad. I'm not mad about it. They're good at mining. They know how it works. It's just another type of thing. I mean, this is just like last cycle when miners shifted to mining Ethereum for a while because it was significantly more profitable than mining Bitcoin for a short period of time. This could be that similar sort of situation going on right now, which honestly isn't bad. It's not bad. I don't mind this at all. And we're going to go look at Caspa real quick. You can see Caspa right here. Yeah, it's worth 16 cents. They got a $4 billion market cap. Their top 25 coin, what's their previous all-time high value for Caspa? Let's go price, and I want to see all time. Their previous their all-time high for Caspa is 19 cents. And they've been around since 2022. So they're a pretty new coin. Not my favorite thing, but they're not doing bad. As long as they're making money off of it, at a 95% margin rate, all right, good for you. Get it, Mara. You're doing great. Let's look at their chart. They benefited nothing from this, nothing at all. So we broke out of this descending channel right in this area right here. I'll draw it. I deleted it earlier. I'll draw it again. From this descending channel right here, we broke out of that with this big old candle here on July 1st. Now we came right up to my technical level at 2275, rejected there immediately, almost immediately. We did a gap down and drop. And I do think that we will likely retest the $19.80 range, where I think I'll be loading up a little bit on Mara at that 1980 level, because I don't see us going far below that. If we do go below it, I don't see us going very far below it. Mara, in my opinion, has more upside than downside right now. I think that 1980, potentially like 18.50 to $18 is the low end of this thing. And then from there on, we will be returning back to that $22 level and beyond. As soon as we cross that 22.75 level and we close above it, man, we're going to be having a great time because that opens us up all the way up to the high 20s and 30s, potentially even low 40s if things get wild. And you know how Mara likes to get wild. Now, the other thing that is important here is the RSI. Look, the RSI is about to do a 50 retracement on the daily. If we get to the 50 and bounce off the 50 on the RSI, yeah, I'm going to be real convinced about that big old move up here on Mara. It's been consolidating. It's been just consolidating since it started moving up in April, and it absolutely just started consolidating since May 16th, and it's just been sitting here waiting for its day. When it gets its day, we're going to be getting, this 13% candle is going to look small on the day that we get that big breakout from this area here on Mara. So watching it close, that production update, not bad at all. They got absolutely no benefit of the doubt from it, unlike many of the other miners. I mean, like Iron the other day went up 14% just off of saying that they had money. Like, what? I mean, I'm not saying they didn't deserve it. I'm just saying that they got 14% just saying that they're funded for the year, whereas Mara's like, yeah, we increased our exahash, we started mining some other thing that's got a 95% margin rate. We didn't sell any Bitcoin. We're doing pretty good, and they dropped 5%. Sucks. Anyways, moving on to Riot. Let's take a look at the Riot production update. In June, Riot produced 255 Bitcoin. They sold none of their Bitcoin, so their treasury is now at 9,334. That's pretty good. I like that. They are mining 45% less Bitcoin compared to June 2023 this year, which is a little worse than Mara, so 5% worse than Mara. They are up 19% in their Bitcoin produced in June compared to May. Now, this is the big news. This is the big news. They now have 22 exahash energized for Riot. That is great. I love that number. I hate the next one I'm going to tell you. Their operating hash rate is only 11.4. They are hashing with slightly more than half. Just slightly more than half. That sucks. And that is why they are not getting any benefit of announcing that they doubled their exahash in a month, but their price went absolutely nowhere off of that news. Any other miner would have had a 20% day off of that. And they doubled their exahash in 1 month. It took 6 months for CleanSpark to do that. They did it in 1 month, but they're not actually operating with it. And the fact that they're not operating with it is holding them back dramatically. Now, I know that they're getting the power credits, right? They got $6.2 million in power credits this month for not running some of those miners and giving some of that power back to the grid. What I think that Riot really needs to start doing is providing a comparison of the opportunity cost compared to Bitcoin, right? So show like, okay, so we gave back this much power to the grid, we got this much money for it. Now, if we had used that power to mine Bitcoin, this is how much money or how much less money we would have made mining Bitcoin compared to giving that power back to the grid. That's what I want to see. And if that isn't true, if they're actually could have made more money mining Bitcoin, I want to know why you're not mining Bitcoin. That's all. That's all. I think that's why they're not doing nearly as well. They're mining with about half their capacity. They are getting power credits in exchange for not mining with their full capacity, which isn't the worst business plan in the world, but retail doesn't understand that. Retail just sees you're mining with half your hash rate. What are you doing? Show us that opportunity cost. Show us that your power credits are paying you more than the Bitcoin would have. And in that situation, I think you'll get retail coming back on board, and you'll not be seeing negative days when you announce that you've doubled your hash rate. That's all. The other thing that I don't like going on with Riot right now is this little chart right here. This chart is a little bit embarrassing. So they're not even mining with their end of year 2023 goal of 12.4 exahash. They have it installed, and they've had it installed for a while, but they haven't been mining with even their. We're more than halfway through 2024, and they do not have an operating capacity above their 2023 goal. They've reached their Q2 2024 goal of 22 exahash installed, but they're still not mining with their end of year 2023 goal. They need to start doing that, or they need to come with clear, understandable reasons why they're not. And then I think they'll start seeing some benefit from here. Let's look at their chart. Their chart is atrocious. They've been stuck in this falling pattern here since, honestly, forever. Since March, they've been stuck here. Now, I think once we get above this pink line here at 12.15, once we get above $12.15 on Riot, we are opened up all the way up to about $16. I don't see them getting above $16 unless they do something dramatic and amazing. I don't see that happening. Riot doesn't seem to be capable of doing that in recent days. So I would look at a high around $16. Honestly, I'd be dumping my bags I'd probably be dumping my bags around like 1550 or something, personally. Of course, this is not financial advice and not a suggestion to buy, sell, or hold any asset whatsoever. Just my plans when I look at this chart. Now, we need to get out of this descending channel. Then we need to take out the 200-day moving average, as well as the midline for the fib Bollinger Bands. We are likely to get stuck between 1158 and 1215 before moving up higher on RIOT. We could get stuck in here and get and just jostled around between those two numbers. And that would suck. That'd be a pretty rough couple of days if that were to happen. Now, what do we need to see here? Yeah, it's got to close above 12. Once it closes above 12, we're open. We're open for higher movement. This line here doesn't matter anymore. What matters is these two lines moving in unison here and getting above those lines. That's the only thing that matters. So Riot's going to have to get something going on and make that work. That's all I've got for you today. Please like, comment, subscribe, share this video, and have a profitable day.